They told us AI was a cheat code, a magic button that finally lets the little guy win. But after watching my own account do exactly what everyone else's was doing, I saw the trap. See, we think we're using AI to beat the market, but in 2026, the market is using AI to beat you. Wealth isn't about being smart anymore, it's about being unpredictable. But the second you open that AI trading app, you aren't an investor. You are a data point, a coordinate. A predictable pulse in a digital ocean. And here's the part they don't tell you in the ad. In that digital ocean, you're not a shark. You're not even a dolphin. You're plankton, drifting exactly where the current wants you to go. And the whales. They're feeding on your predictability. Large institutions love your smart AI tools. Why? Because they aren't trading stocks anymore, they are trading your predictability. You aren't hiring a robot to work for you, you are turning yourself into liquid fuel for their algorithms. They know exactly how you will react because your AI follows the same logic as theirs. You're running a race in super shoes, but the guy who sold you the shoes is betting on exactly when you'll trip. Think about that for a second. If everyone in that race is wearing the same super shoes, what happens? The world record gets broken, sure, the average speed of the race increases. But your finishing position, it doesn't change, you're still 50th place, just like before. The only difference is you paid $500 for the shoes, and the guy who sold them to you is now rich enough to buy the stadium. That's the illusion of advantage. When a tool is available to everyone, it's no longer a weapon, it's just the entry fee. It's a tax on anyone who thinks they're getting ahead, but is really just keeping up. But losing your edge is only the beginning. The real danger is the invisible prison you're walking into. You might ask, but AI has all the data. How can it be wrong? That's the secret. AI is a machine built to find the perfect average. It compresses the world's knowledge into a single, optimal path. But in the market, the average is always zero. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're at a casino, and there's a roulette table. A computer tells everyone at the table to bet on black because, statistically, it's hit black 60% of the time in the last hour. So everyone bets black. But here's the thing. The casino doesn't care if black wins or red wins. They care that everyone is betting the same way. Why? Because when everyone is on one side, the casino adjusts the odds, or simply watches as the crowd pushes the price to a point where there's no value left. The house always wins, not by predicting the ball, but by predicting the crowd. When AI tells you what to do, it's giving you a consensus. But wealth, real, life-changing wealth, only exists in the non-consensus. It lives in the black swans, the things that have never happened before. AI is like a driver staring only at the rear-view mirror, trying to predict a future that doesn't look like the past. By following the algorithm, you are locking yourself in a prison of common sense. If everyone agrees on the best stock, there is no profit left in it. You aren't getting in early. You're just the last person invited to a party that's already over. And for the privilege of being last, you are being charged a tax that no one talks about.
In the old world, we paid rent to landlords. In 2026, we pay rent to algorithms. This is the $10 trillion trap. It's not just about subscription fees, it's about the surrender of decision-making. Every time you hit buy because an app told you to, you are paying a lazy tax. And here's why that tax is so insidious. When you outsource your decisions, you're not just losing money, you're losing muscle. Decision-making is a muscle. Every time you make a call, you strengthen your judgment. Every time you're wrong and you figure out why, you build scar tissue that makes you smarter. But when the app decides for you, that muscle atrophies. You become financially softer. And the worst part is, you don't even notice until the day the AI fails, and it will fail, and you're left standing there with no instincts, no intuition, no ability to react. You've paid the lazy tax with your competence. You are handing over your most human asset, the ability to sense risk, to a casino owner who wins whether you lose or not. They get your data for free, they take your fees, and they use your money to make their machines even better at harvesting you next time. Think about what happened in the crypto crash of 2025. Remember that? The AI models all flashed the same signal, buy the dip. And millions of retail investors, following their apps, piled in. What they didn't see was that the institutions had already positioned themselves to sell into that buying pressure. The AI saw the pattern from 2021 and 2023, but it didn't see that this time, the liquidity was different. This time, the macro was different. The retail investors got caught holding bags, and the institutions walked away. The AI was right, according to its data. But the data was from a world that no longer existed. You aren't a player in this game. You are the lab rat paying for the electricity in the lab.
But here is where the story changes. Because the one thing the machine can never calculate is a human who refuses to be a data point. Let me paint you a picture. There's a fisherman. He's been fishing the same lake for 40 years. He knows where the fish hide in the summer. He knows where they go when the storm comes. One day, a sonar company sells him the latest device. It maps every fish in the lake in real time. For a month, his catch triples. He's thrilled, but then something strange happens. The fish start disappearing from his sonar. They're still there, he can see them jumping, but the device shows nothing. Why? Because the fish learned. They adapted. They figured out that the pings meant danger. The fisherman who relied on the sonar goes home empty. But the old fisherman? He puts away the device, picks up his pole, and uses his 40 years of instinct. He catches dinner. The AI is your sonar. It's useful, but if you forget how to read the water, how to feel the tug, how to sense when something's off, you're just a man staring at a screen while the fish swim right past you. So, does this mean you should run away from AI? No. That's just as dumb as trusting it blindly. AI isn't the enemy of wealth. Laziness is. If you use AI to think for you, you are fuel. But if you use AI to build for you, you become an AI craftsman. The craftsman doesn't ask the machine, "What should I do with my money?" He says, "Help me analyze this logic 10 times faster so I can make a better bet." Think of it like this. In the old days, a carpenter had a hammer and a chisel. Then the electric drill came along. The lazy carpenter said, "Great, now the drill will do the work for me." He let the drill guide his hand. His holes were straight, but his craftsmanship was dead. The master carpenter said, "This drill saves me time on the boring stuff, so I can spend more time on the joinery, the details, the art." He used the tool to free up his mind for the work that mattered. That's the difference between fuel and craftsman. The fuel sees AI as a replacement for thinking. The craftsman sees AI as a replacement for grunt work. One is trying to automate their judgment. The other is trying to amplify it. In an age of perfect calculation, the only thing left to profit from is human messiness. Your gut feelings, your unique biases, and your courage to hold on when the data says, sell. These aren't flaws. They are your only remaining edge. Use AI as your assistant, but never let it be your captain. Use the tools to sharpen your axe, but keep your own hands on the handle. Because here's the truth, they don't put in the user agreement. When the market breaks, and it will break, your AI will do exactly what every other AI does. It will sell at the bottom. It will buy at the top. It will follow the herd off the cliff. And in that moment, the only thing that will save you is the one thing the machine doesn't have. The stubborn, irrational, human willingness to say no. A robot has no skin in the game. It doesn't stay up at night wondering how it'll pay for your kid's college. It doesn't feel the fear of losing everything you've worked for. It just executes code. But you have skin in the game. You have a life to live. You have people counting on you. Don't hand the wheel to something that has nothing to lose. Stop being a data point for their machines. Start being the master of your own. Because a robot has no skin in the game, but you do. And in the end, the only wealth that stays is the kind you were brave enough to claim yourself.